Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit of a while since I've updated anything on here. It's been about over a week. This is going to be a different video though. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the warning of Garabandal, the miracle, and 3 days of darkness. So today, my mother and I were out and we were on our way back home, and she mentioned something about the 3 days of darkness. And um we got into conversation about it, and we don't know like when it's gonna happen or how intense it's gonna be. I did hear about it in way back in 2008, so that's a while back. Um, I did hear about the warning of Garabandal and the miracle in 2008 as well. So let me just explain to you what they are. So with the warning of Garabandal, what that is, it's gonna be a global warning for all of us, and it's going to be an illumination of conscience. So the backstory goes, um, it has to do with four young girls in the 1960s who lived in Garabandal, Spain. They were visited by the Blessed Mother, I believe more than once actually, and they were being told about an illumination of conscience that's going to take place when things in the world are at the possible worst. Like, everything's gonna go to pieces, everything's gonna go falling apart, and it's gonna be at the worst possible time when everything is at its worst. And the reason for that is that a lot of people strayed from God. A lot of people never got to know God, whether they were raised in a home that didn't have God in their home, or if they were raised um I don't know, Buddhist or atheist or whatever it is. And all of us are going to see our own sinful state as God sees it. That's supposed to last a few minutes. I read online something like 15 minutes or something like that. Of course, I personally don't know how long the war of Garabano is going to last for the whole entire world, but there's going to be a stoppage of time, and we're going to see our own sinful state exactly how God sees our own sinful state. Because let's face it, all of us are sinners, all of us are not perfect, and we need God. We desperately need God. And I'm going to get more into a little bit about what my thoughts, feelings, and emotions are about this whole thing. So, after the warning happens, about a year after the warning happens, there's going to be a miracle. And it's going to take place actually in Garabandal, Spain. And it's going to last about 15 minutes, according to sources. But even though it's going to be lasting for a short period of time, the miracle, the site of the miracle, it's going to have, like, people are going to know that it's there, and it's going to be for all eternity. So here's the conditional part that I kept hearing, the 3 days of darkness. This is what my mother and I were talking about today in the car. And she actually brought it up in conversation. And that's been mentioned somewhere in the Bible. I would have to see where exactly in the Bible the 3 days of darkness are mentioned. And again, it's conditional. I'll explain to you what that means in a minute. So what the 3 days of darkness is, that's going to come after the warning of Garabandal, the miracle, and it's going to be like fire from heaven, and it's going to wipe out 3/4 of what's on earth, including humankind. They say to keep your doors and windows locked and covered. Like, when I say covered, covered. I don't mean by little blinds or blackout drapes. You would probably have to cover them with the boards or something, I would imagine. We don't know when that's going to happen, but that's said to be very, very intense. Now, also during the 3 days of darkness, what's going to happen during that period of time is that all the demons from hell are going to be released to roam the earth, and to harass us and drag us away. But we have to be vigilant. We have to stay strong in our faith and have the armor of God on us. Because if we don't, you're going to be met with disaster. And I hate saying that, but that's what sources online are saying, and you just need to take it seriously. And these demons are gonna mimic the voices of loved ones. So when you hear something that sounds familiar, you heard it, but don't pay attention to it. Ignore it. Pray. Keep your focus on God. Keep your focus on the Blessed Mother. Keep your focus on the passion of the Lord. Just keep your focus on the Word and the Blessed Mother when you're going through all that. And they say to have a crucifix. I believe they said holy water and blessed candles. And these blessed candles have to be 100% beeswax. No fake stuff, nothing mixed in with it. It would be smart to have the candles blessed by a priest, if you can, as soon as possible. I have one that's like yay high. I never used it. It's 100% beeswax, and it's like an aqua color, like a aquamarine color. I got it years ago when I went on a retreat. I believe I was in Taylor, PA, when I went on this retreat with the people from the church that I go to. So, yeah, we're living in perilous times, as you know. I mean, like, we have the fighting between Ukraine and Russia. We have this whole thing with Hamas and Israel going on. We have the inflation that just doesn't seem to want to go away. And for those of you who live in the United States, you know what I'm talking about when I mention this? Pennies. They're not going to be creating pennies as of 2026. Because the claim on that is it takes more money to create the pennies than not to. And we have like other signs that are going on, other things going on. Sin, of course, is being rampant all over the place. I mean, sin has always existed ever since Adam and Eve. Because, you know, like with the backstory of Adam and Eve, they sinned against the Lord when they ate the fruit from the tree that was forbidden. They ate from the fruit from that forbidden tree in the Garden of Eden. We all know that backstory is in the book of Genesis. You can read it. And that's how sin entered the world. Now, it's important to turn to the Lord during these times. It's important to have a relationship with our Lord and our Blessed Mother. And also to pray the rosary, to pray chaplets, to pray for the intercession of the saints. Because, like I said, we live in perilous times. And it's not going to get any easier. It's not going to get any better anytime soon. And, look, I see this all over the place. And even, like, in Pennsylvania, it would probably be the last person anybody would suspect that bad things would happen. But, nevertheless, I see it all over the place. I click on the news. There's always something going on the other part of the world, or in the United States, or in Pennsylvania, or close to home. There's always something bad going on. And I'm not saying it hasn't been like that before, it has. But it seems like the world has gotten way worse than it has. I think it's way worse than it ever used to be. And believe it or not, I've been saying that for years, and I've told people that we're talking about, what, 15 years ago? Give or take. I started saying that right around that time. And many people disagreed with me. Their argument is that Oh, it has to do with the internet. You plug it because you're on the internet. You're reading all these things that are going on. Okay, so maybe we're getting more information about stuff that goes on, but I really do believe that there are a lot worse things that are going on that, and it's like an increase of intensity and number than there ever used to be. And that's why we need to pull together and make the world a better place for each other instead of being at each other's throats, instead of fighting and arguing over this, that, and other thing, instead of walking away from the word. And there's another thing. There's this whole thing with good being called evil and evil being called good. And, of course, that's nothing new. That's been going on for years. But again, I'm seeing this more intense. Another thing that comes to mind is the whole AI, artificial intelligence. I mean, I don't have anything against it when it comes to the medical field, or like, let's say, forensics or criminology or finding missing persons. Look, in those areas, I'm all for it, but when you put robots in restaurants, warehouses, stores, whatever it is, what have you, I'm sorry, but that's where I draw the line. I hate that idea. I hate that idea with a passion because it takes jobs away. And people like this, the whole society is just pushing for AI to take over. I personally hate that idea, and every single person I've ever spoken to, people even who are younger than me, now mind you, I'm 45 years old, people even younger than me hate AI. And I've spoken to so many people about this whole AI business, and I never had one person, not one single soul, to agree that it's a good idea in stores and warehouses and restaurants and all this other stuff to take over the whole entire world. Now, granted, I hope it doesn't happen, but the way it's been going, it's everywhere you go. And I just hope and pray that you take the time to spend time with the Lord every single day in the Blessed Mother. And I'll leave you guys at that. Bye, guys. God bless.